Reflection on culture, ethnicity, and race. Culture is deep patterns of values, beliefs, and traditions that have been formed over the course of the school's history were commonly held beliefs of teachers, students, and principals. The impacts of a culture can cause an increase in student achievement and motivation. Having a good culture can cause teachers to have a higher job satisfaction and increase productivity. It can create strong organizational ideology, shared participation, charismatic leadership, and intimacy. Making a good culture is implementing of a clear mission statement, shared vision, school-wide goals to help promote increased student achievement. Personally, I believe having a good school culture can help students and teachers in many ways. All schools have different cultures for a reason, so teachers and students can find the right fit for them. Finding a culture in which the students and teachers are on the same page creates a better learning environment for the students. Creating this learning environment is a key point with how the students are going to learn and take in material. Focusing on the culture can help with this in the long run of the student's educational career. Ethnicity is preferences of self-identification or a person's of varying racial and ethnic backgrounds. The impacts can either be good or bad. Students can be seen as high achievers, diligent note takers, well-disciplined, hardworking, respectful of a lecturing staff, good attendees, or seen as does not attempt to understand material, lacking in skill of self-management, being passive, quiet, and non-participative in class. But the truth behind the stereotype is, for different types of ethnicity exists for all people, but this does not mean that they are true. Having a student of a certain ethnicity and believing because others act a certain way, they are going to do the same is not acceptable when teaching students. Thinking about the individual child and their work ethic, needs, abilities to learn is based on them as a student, not their ethnicity. Understanding the different types of ethnicity can help teachers better relate to their students, but it should not be the base of the way they treat each student. Race. Race is described as self-identification, normally relating to the color of one's skin or origin of birth. The impacts: students could receive teacher bias because their race. Teachers' perceptions, expectations, and behavior probably do help to sustain and perhaps even expand the test score gap. Race and ethnicity. In a way, race and ethnicity are similar in the fact that they both can have stereotypes to affect the way students are treated in school. Knowing the students is a certain race does not mean they are going to be like every person of that race. Treating them as an individual is a must when it comes to equity in education. Assumptions. Oftentimes, assumptions about different cultures can cause teachers to treat students differently. Rather than lowering expectations based on assumptions, we must raise our expectations and work hard to create environments that demonstrate the students they can achieve with our help. This statement above is how we should treat assumptions in the classroom. Although it is our human nature to have these assumptions about culture, ethnicity, or race that is different from our own, we need to get through to these students based on their individual needs and what they can accomplish as a student. The question, why is there a dichotomy where some students achieve and some students do not? Students' achievement, in my opinion, is based on student and teacher motivation. There is no way forcing material on a student can help them learn anything. If they do not want to learn it, then it's not going to happen. The same goes for teachers. If the teacher is not motivated to teach the students, then how are the students able to learn material? This two-way part needs to be done with the students' and teachers' motivation. Taking the time and interest in students' work impacts motivation and development. The divide should not happen and will not happen if teachers take the time to work with students to ensure they have the right materials needed to start the learning process. Equity in the classroom. Equity is allowing everyone in the class to be themselves and accepted for that. It allows students in a diverse group to ask different questions, have different reactions and to what they see and hear, and hold different opinions. Allowing this open communication and learning about other people helps foster the growth in a classroom community. This classroom community will then help students to feel more comfortable and ready to learn more because they feel accepted and safe. In my classroom, it is not very diverse. Most students come from the same sort of a background, have the same culture, ethnicity, and race. This does not, however, make it easy to teach these students. Knowing about the student's background allows me to understand what I need to do in order for them to learn and feel safe in my classroom. Starting a classroom community where equity is apparent and students are allowed to speak out and be who they want to be allows my teaching to get through to them better. I always make sure to get to know every student based on their likes, dislikes, as well as their culture. Knowing about these students make it easy to get more in-depth learning done.